Okay, you guys, what's good, everyone? It's Nigel here, Trinidad Empowerment Network. So, if you are planning to travel to the United States, you might want to listen. You might want to listen very carefully to what I am about to say, um, because the U.S. government is now proposing a visa system so expensive, so deliberately exclusionary, it could actually make traveling impossible for thousands of people from countries like Trinidad and Tobago and the wider Caribbean. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about what Donald Trump is doing. Let's talk about the Donald Trump playbook as it pertains to immigration, the Caribbean, and how we must, as a matter of urgency, come together on the CARICOM and create a CARICOM union now. So let's break it down factually and without the sugarcoating. Because this exit route, this plan to, if you have one, to go to America, is becoming slimmer and slimmer under this regime. America, by the way, is a falling empire. I've made videos about this. America is a failing empire. The U.S. State Department recently announced a 12-month pilot program that would require some visa applicants to pay a bond of up to 15,000 US dollars before they are even allowed into the country. 15,000 US dollar bond before they are even allowed into the country. Yes, you heard that right. Just to enter the United States, because apparently it's so great. People are so desperate to get there. I mean, this is just put in place to restrict as many people going to the United States as possible. Clearly, this bond would apply to business and tourist visa applicants, including those applying under the B1 and B2 visa system, or the B1 and B2 visa categories, if you are familiar with those. Now, not everyone, this doesn't affect everyone. I mean, essentially, only applicants from countries that the United States deems to have high overstay rates or poor document security is going to be affected by this, which, let's be honest, that often means developing nations from ex-colonies and essentially black and brown countries. Black and brown countries. It doesn't affect or necessarily affect Europeans. If you look at the news coming from America, you don't see a bunch of Europeans being, taken out of America or arrested and thrown into vans by ICE agents in America. You don't see European faces. You mainly see black and brown faces. So this is what this is about. So whilst the US hasn't officially named which countries are on the list, we can make an educated guess here as to who that's going to be. So Caribbean nations like us, like Trinidad and Tobago, are likely to be infected or on the Donald Trump radar. Certainly when it comes to this. And why? Why? Because the US believes too many people from our region overstay their visas or come from countries with what they call a weak passport system. I mean, at the end of the day, these, whatever you want to call it, this is their rationale. This is the reasons they're given, or they are giving, for these restrictions, whether you believe it or not, whether it's BS or not, which I believe it is. So this means that honest people, families, business owners, students may now be priced out, certainly priced out of entry before they even set foot on American soil. And this is a plan. This is the idea, right? This is the idea. Lock down the border, stop anyone coming in. A nation built on the back of immigrants, built on the back of chattel slavery, is now locking out the very people that build the nation to what it is today. And let's be clear, this is not a fee, it's a bond. This is not a fee, it's a bond, which means you have to pay thousands of US dollars up front and only maybe get it back after you leave. Maybe. So let me repeat that. For those at the back, pay 15,000 US dollars now, and if the US government decides if the US government decides you followed all of their rules, you might get your money back. You might get your 15,000 US dollars back. You see, you tell me the logic. You tell me the logic in that. It's clearly to stop us from coming to America. It's clearly to stop people from the Caribbean, black and brown countries, like I originally suggested, from coming to America. So you may ask yourself, why is this happening right now? Like I said to you in previous videos, America is a falling empire. Every empire throughout history, if you've read history, every empire throughout history has fallen. And we are witnessing the falling of the American empire right now as we speak. That's not my opinion. I believe that's based in facts. Anyway, once again, the US is using immigration as a political tool. They are using immigration as a political tool. This isn't about security. It's about sending a message. And the message is loud and clear. A message that poor and developing countries are not welcome unless they can pay to prove their obedience. This is a message coming from America right now. So those of you who have plans to go to America, well, you better start saving now, or you better start looking at how we can reinvest in the Caribbean and build the Caribbean and not have to leave and travel elsewhere. This is about economic discrimination dressed up as policy coming from America. If you are from a wealthy country, mainly in mainland Europe, no problem. No problem. If you are from Trinidad or Jamaica or Nigeria, you better show us the money. Show us your 15,000 bond before you even are able to gain a visa to come into America. They're locking the country down. They are locking the country down to black and brown people predominantly. Clearly, the people who are going to hurt the most from this are ordinary working class, honest people. There shouldn't be a need for anyone to leave their homeland anyway, which is why I make the argument for us to diversify, reinvest, and build our own economy. A CARICOM union is needed now. A CARICOM union is needed now. I'm going to preach this loud and clear, far and wide. We need it now. So the same people who saved for months or even years to afford a visa, a plane ticket, a dream vacation even, or a chance to visit family in America, well, where's your 15,000 bond before you do that? Honest, hard-working people are going to be affected by this massively. So let's not pretend this is about safety like I've previously alluded to. This is about creating financial barriers for people from the global south. And it's going to work. If this comes in, when it does come in, because Trump does what he wants, he disregards everything, and he essentially does what he wants. So this will likely come in. And let's face it, they know most people from our region cannot afford to risk that kind of money. 15,000 is probably strategic. They've looked at the numbers and thought, yeah, 15,000 US, they're not going to be able to afford this. So let's throw that random number in. This isn't just a travel policy, by the way. It's a way to lock us out of global opportunity. It's a way to lock us out of global opportunities. So if Trinidad and Tobago is included on this list, and the chances are extremely high, well, what's to come is a certain decline, certainly a decline in tourism. What's to come is a restriction of business ties that we have with the United States, certainly. What's to come is families blocked from visiting loved ones in America, traveling to America, the American experience. What's to come is young people being denied access to education or possibly work experience in America. Simply because the United States government under Donald Trump thinks we are more likely to overstay our visas in the United States. And that's his rationale, whether you believe it or not. Like I said, I think it's absolute BS, but that is his rationale. So instead of fixing their broken immigration system, they are tightening the noose on countries like ours in the Caribbean. So there's not much more to be said about this. I've said many, many times before, we need to invest in our own. We need to build our own. We need to draw ourselves closer under the Caribbean Union. I'm going to end by asking you this question, and this is a question I think we as Caribbean people need to ask. Why are Caribbean countries still begging for visas? Why are we still begging for trade deals and partnerships with nations that treat us as a threat? This is a question we need to ask. Why are we begging these people? They clearly do not like us. They clearly want nothing to do with us. Yet we do 80% of our trade with the United States as when it comes to food. Why are we not building regional strength, Caribbean integration, Black-owned trade networks that don't require us to grovel for access? If you think a $15,000 bond is just the beginning, you're probably right. Because every year, policies like this are becoming more aggressive and more expensive. And they're absolutely becoming more exclusionary. So let's forget the United States. Let's start building our own United Caribbean. Under one umbrella, we have everything in the Caribbean to do exactly that. Just like Abraham Traore is doing in Africa right now, literally doing in Africa right now. It's time to stop pretending these systems are built for us. They are not. And it's time we start building our own. It's high time we wake up. What Donald Trump is doing may turn out to be a good thing for us because we wouldn't have a choice anymore. We do not have a choice in the matter anymore. He's locking us out. So this may, in actual effect, turn out to be a good thing for us. If he's locked us out completely, our hands are tied, then we are forced into the position we are forced into. And we're forced to unite. We're forced to talk to each other. You lock us in a cell and we are forced to talk to each other. We need to stop waiting for permission from the likes of America. And we need to take back power. We have it within us to do so in the Caribbean. This is what needs to be done now. Our leaders need to unite under one umbrella, the Caribbean Union. And that's my take. Forget America. Let's move forward without them. We've got it within us ourselves to do so. We've done it since they took us from the shores of Africa to the Caribbean. We've survived to this very day. It's 2025. They've tried to kill us. They've tried to decimate us. They've tried to get rid of us. And we're still here fighting. We're still here fighting. We've got it within us. The power is within us to do better. To do better. Let's go. Let's go. And that's it. Please like, please subscribe to Trinidad Empowerment Network. Let's keep the fight going. Let's keep this fight going. And I'll see you guys on the next video. For now, much love. God bless. Take care. Peace.